What is up, Buttercup? Welcome to your general timeless reading. Whenever you see this is when it's most meant for you. Take what resonates and leave the rest. Let's get into it. Let's see what we want to get started with. Oh, very interesting. Okay, so Sacred Destiny is a kind of toss-up of a deck. It typically is a very, I wouldn't say spiritual read, but it could be like a read that encompasses a lot of things. It could be about work, love, and spirituality all in this single reading. It has a lot of different angles. That's how I can word it. So let's see. Okay, so this is somebody who's finally making a decision to walk down a open a door, right? To take an opportunity. The way that they see things and the way that they move through their life and their reality is very different, and so that's why these opportunities are showing up. I heard Alexander, so take that as you want. It could be somebody in your life that could just represent something to you. That could be the name of a street. That could be a company. Okay. Gateway. Literally the card of the gateway, the doorway, the choice, right? Walking through that opportunity. Gateway. Let me hold it a little closer. Okay. I don't want to take these because they were like separate from the pile. There it is. Fulfillment. Success, forgiveness. So here's the shift. Okay, I like this. They walk through, things start moving forward, and then it's like, then the work starts. Like, it's like you start a job, you really enjoy the job. This is just an example. But then you realize like, okay, well now the work to really get to where I want to be in this new cycle begins. Okay. Illumination. Inner peace. Oh, I like this. I like this so much. This is awesome. This is really cool. Okay, let's just get right into clarifiers. I don't want to do a channel message with this too much because like I said, this particular deck is typically a little bit of a toss-up. There's a lot. Let's use Tarot of Dreams with this one. This is going to be a very fitting deck for this Oracle deck. They work hand in hand pretty well. This particular tarot deck, if you buy tarot decks for yourself, has palace cards that describe the environment. Okay? Also, if you want a personal reading or a Reiki session, you can book it down below. And check out my Patreon channel if you want a free 10-minute reading. New patrons get a free 10-minute reading. It will be recorded, and yeah, you'll get discounts on my site too for services if you're part of Patreon. So go ahead and check it out. Let's look at Gateway. Okay, this could be very, I feel like this is like, it's initially rooted in frustration, but frustration might be you getting to the point of like, okay, I've had enough, I can't take it anymore, and you finally do what you need to do that feels in alignment with you. Yeah, Knight of Wands, it's very impulsive. Knight of Wands in reverse is a very impulsive action. It's not something that's driven in like passion and like, oh, this feels like something that's really creative and fun, like a Knight of Wands upright would be. This is very impulsive and like very frustrated energy, okay? So very in line with what we're feeling here. Okay, let's look at fulfillment. Too many to count is a phrase that's come up on a lot of these readings lately in the channel, which makes sense. We're a collective consciousness, we're all one, right? So when we do collective readings, similar phrases are going to continuously come up. I feel like this is that honeypot, like too many hands, too many options. I feel like this is a mindset of like, ooh, I could be great at this, I could be great at that. This person's realizing to step back. Page of Swords, yeah. They're realizing that the faking it till they make it attitude's not going to get them anywhere in this cycle, and that's why it's like, okay, I'm going to have to work for it. I'm really going to have to buckle down and do the work. Let's get another on fulfillment. I feel a very mentor energy come in. It doesn't have to be an actual teacher or mentor coming in. It could be the fact that you're taking on a new way of seeing things and you're choosing to study. You're choosing to move differently. You're choosing to like mentor yourself. Okay? Very Hierophant vibes. Yeah, Ten of Pentacles. There's that stability. There's that long-term commitment. I like this a lot. Ten of Pentacles means that you're building towards success. You are going to have this fulfillment. You are going to have this success. But this means that Ten of Pentacles means that you are going to be going through the lesson of, or if you haven't already, this last cycle you might have been already going through the Five of Pentacles, the lack, the scarcity, and now that Saturn's direct, you're learning what the hard work, the diligence is. I would check out where Gemini is in your chart, because that's where Mars is retrograding over the next 6 months or so. And that's where we are reviewing, right? So this might apply in that area for you, because this isn't just about money and finances. The Ten of Pentacles also represents health, and it represents relationships, because it's long-term commitments and it's contracts. It's things that we sign up for and we're committed to. So if that's in your sixth or your fifth, sixth, or seventh, it could deal with your love life, relationships, and how you connect and relate with other people, right? If it's in your fourth house, it could affect your home and family life, your foundation. Your second house, it could be your finances and your work. Your 10th house, it could be how you show up in the world. It could be your work again. It could be your fame and your fortune. 11th, 12th, 9th, spirituality, higher learning, education. So on and so forth. Third house, it would be like your siblings and community, stuff like that. I think I got all of them. I think, maybe, but check it out. Okay. So yeah, let's look at success. But that's what with Gemini, with Mars retrograding in Gemini, we are reviewing those things and seeing how we could restructure, like redo them. We might have been a little too impulsive, or, oh, I invested too much in this relationship. How can I review this and do it better, or let it go and learn from it to invest in something else, something new, in a more structured way moving forward? Knight of Wands, right? No, a little too impulsive. Moon in reverse. So this is what we were just talking about, the aha. I realized why things in the past didn't work out, right? Realizing what stood in the way of my success. The blindfold coming off. The moon is the subconscious. You're realizing the blockages or the self-sabotaging behavior, the things that might have been hidden from you, that stood in the way of your Ten of Pentacles. This isn't accountability. This is accountability. That's somebody realizing like, oh, this is where I screwed up, you know? Six of Swords. I love the Six of Swords because it's moving out of that inner conflict, the inner critic. It's that, I can breathe, right? Like, I don't need to be hard on myself. The way that I show up, the way that I do things is beautiful in and of itself, and I bring a lot to the table just as I am. And knowing that and moving in that and being in that is what's going to lead you to your success, because you as who you are is what is going to make your success. Not trying to be like somebody else, right? Okay. Forgiveness. I heard purity with this, the purest form. This is a rejection of self. Page of Wands, Palace of Coins in this particular deck, Palace of Pentacles, however you'd like to word it. Page of Wands to me is the wounded child, right? So this could be you realizing your behaviors that are hindering your creative abilities or your excitement or the parts of you that really like to have fun, and you're not allowing yourself to have fun because there's such a fear of like, what if I don't have this stability? What if I don't have this person in my life? What if I don't have this relationship, right? And all this worry and all this concern of all these things, you're realizing, wait, I need to stop rejecting the part of me that wants to have fun. I need to stop rejecting the part of me that is creative. I need to stop rejecting the part of me that does crave connection and is scared of vulnerability, because it's quite literally standing in the way of the very thing that I want, right? And so it's learning to accept those parts of you and forgive those parts of you and forgive yourself for pushing those parts of you away or not wanting to see them, right? And working through that. And also not being mad at yourself for not seeing it sooner. So many of the people I work with are like, oh, I wish I saw it sooner. No, you saw it when you were ready to. You can't say if, when, all that stuff. You saw it when you were ready to and at the point in your life that you were prepared to, and that's perfect. That is perfect. That is perfect because you have the tools today to see it. You might have not had the tools 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks ago, months ago, years ago to see it or be prepared to handle and integrate it, but you do now. And that's why you see it now, okay? Be compassionate with yourself. Let's look at illumination. This is career. All of a sudden I got a lot of career with this. Ace of Wands. Who wants to go into the medical field? Immediately I feel like they want to go to the medical field. They're very scared about going back to school, or they never even, okay, somebody hasn't finished high school. So somebody has a GED. Okay, this is like very specific. Somebody has their GED. I feel like they want to go to medical school. This is very specific. Okay. So that's that. Whoever that is, take that. That's for you. This is hesitance, and this is the need to. Okay, we're really hung up on this person. We're gonna get another card. So just take what resonates, guys. Remember that, and leave the rest. And just, I'll use this. I actually got something similar to this in another reading, and somebody asked a question. I responded to it in the comments. If something like this comes up in a reading, let's say you do want to go back to school, it's just not medical school, just take it for yourself as that, right? It's just a frequency, it's just a form of energy, but this is the example, okay? So just take that as, oh yeah, I want to go back to school too. It's just that your form might be different, and that's okay. So whatever your blockage is, like this person, it's their fear, like, oh, well, I don't have a formal high school diploma, but I got my GED, you know what I'm saying? That might be their limiting belief is, I'm not worthy of going back to school because I have this limiting belief that, oh, I need to have this kind of criteria to be deemed worthy or acceptable to apply for college or to apply for this or to apply for that. Okay, so remember that these are just frequencies, these are just energies, and this is coming through as an example of we all are on that spectrum, just it's different for each of us. We all vibrate at like, it's a little different of a frequency, but it translates to pretty much the same thing at the end of the day, okay? But this is what's standing in the way of that new cycle. And this realization is going to come up probably over the next 2 weeks if you're watching this around the Scorpio eclipse that we just had, because there's going to be a lot of shakeups during this time. Yep. Palace of Cups, a lot of Palace cards. I figured because we have, 2 of the Palace cards in this deck already came out. And then we have the Palace of Swords in reverse. So there's this realization that the heart is craving this change. The emotional body, right? So the emotional body and the mental body are disconnected. I see this a lot in Reiki sessions too. So often we're like, oh, I know I want this, right? I know I want to do this, but the what? The head and the heart on 2 different pages. We hear that a lot. But if you were to see the head and the heart as 2 physical bodies, so you have this body, then you have your head. So picture another one of you standing here and another one standing here. And they're fighting with one another. You're not in sync. You're not in sync. You need to get yourself all on one page. Your heart knows that it's craving this, and the soul is craving this new beginning, regardless if it's going back to school, regardless if it's a new job or if it's a new relationship, whatever this new is for you, your heart wants it 100%. It's craving that environment because it resonates with you on a soul level. But on a mental level, for some reason, the mind is attached to thinking that it should be exploring other things, right? Because the Palace of Swords in reverse says that there's fear, there's anxiety, there's lower frequencies. And you know this. That's why it's on illumination, right? High Priestess in reverse is knowing very clearly that you're in love with the idea of this change. But the fear might be debilitating. And you might want to run and isolate yourself with the Hermit in reverse, right? And with the Knight of Swords. It's like, wait, no, the best thing to do is take a few steps and then, I want to go back this way. And that's what the ego does. We get really close to feeling the new, and then we're like, this probably isn't for me, which is actually the nervous system and the ego's way of saying, this is for me. It feels really different. I don't know how to take what this different is, and since it's so different, I'm associating it with fear because it's unfamiliar. So let me run to what's familiar instead of exploring the new. Because the ego's going to be like, I don't know what this is. I don't know how to protect you. Danger, danger, run away. No, don't run. Inner peace. This is your overall energy. Let's look at it. Let's look at it. Whoa. Oh, I love it. Yes. Page of Cups. The Devil. The Tower. And the Eight of Swords. Okay, I loved the first card. I liked the top one. Underneath that, it got a little scary. It's not too bad though. It's actually really good. When you have the Devil and the Tower next to each other, especially with the page, pages are students in tarot. Pages mean that you're open to learning, you're receptive to being honest with yourself, when they're upright at least. So the Page of Cups means that, and obviously with the Palace of Cups here, you are connected with yourself emotionally. Like, you know yourself enough emotionally, but being connected with your emotions and accepting your emotions on a logical level are really different. This is like if someone were to walk into their therapist office and to talk about all their issues, but never actually break down and cry in front of their therapist. They're in their logical mind. So they might process it all logically, but they're not ever transmuting all of their pain and trauma because they never actually purge it on an emotional level. Okay? So that's why the mental and emotional body need to work hand in hand. Okay? You need to be vulnerable with yourself. Not shut down on one and keep the other on. Okay? But with the Devil here in the Tower, this is you realizing that these fears, these limiting beliefs, this cage that you're keeping yourself stuck in, right, is actually what's stopping this transformation from moving forward in a way that could bring you the inner peace, right? And you're starting to see that. You're going to watch that play out right now, right? And so if you find chaos around you and you're like, oh my gosh, it's scary, remind yourself that, wait, it's not chaos. I actually just talked about this on my Patreon this morning. We have a WhatsApp chat and somebody was mentioning some change they were going through that they imposed on themselves. They're like, I thought it was going to excite me and now I don't know if I want to do it. And I reminded them, I said, wait, you were so excited about this. Is it really that you're scared of it? Or is it more so that now you're diving into something new? And the fear of the new is actually just simply the unfamiliar. And they're like, wait, yeah, it's just unfamiliar. And I'm associating it with fear. That's all this is. It's just unfamiliar. And we get stuck in the mental body. We get stuck in the mental body. You want this. You want this. Palace of Cups, Page of Cups. You want it, and you know you want it. But you're overthinking it. And it's taking your peace. Don't overthink it. Don't do that. It's going to take your peace. You need to get your mental and emotional body on the same page. Because you're going to drive yourself cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Because whatever door you're walking through, it's leading you to a Ten of Pentacles. But then you're going to teeter-totter between this. Well, I'm not going to say you're going to. Because you have the opportunity to overcome it. It's quite literally your choice. It's your choice. Do you want to teeter-totter, or do you want to remind yourself that this change is meant for you and you can really enjoy it? And that it's just new. And new doesn't mean bad. Okay? If you want a personal reading, book it down below. Check out my Patreon family if you want to be part of a fun little community where we all chit chat and hang out. And I'd love to see you there. I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.